Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together live here on Facebook, where we dissect, examine, exchange, observe, comment on, and take in headlines, comments, suggestions, questions, and ideas, and all kinds of wonderful information that helps us become better acquainted with our city, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English speaking locals. It is always a pleasure to get together with you on a daily basis. And it is always a pleasure to welcome new friends into this community that you have created, this wonderful community that I'm so happy to be a part of. So if you're new to the broadcast, my name is Paco, and you're welcome to let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll give you a lollipop. No, I'm just kidding. We'll just give you a nice hello and a nice welcome. Also, as you know, if you have important things that you wish to comment or share during the broadcast, it helps a lot if you add the letter Q at the beginning of your question. That way we won't miss it, or we will try our best to not miss it during the broadcast. If we miss it, oh no. Oh no, I knew it. I knew I would create a monster. No, Gary, we're not calling it Senaduría Row. Please don't spread that name. It's in English. This is Mexico. Don't spread English names, please, please, please. Okay, just watch me. 3 years from now, everybody's going to be calling it Senaduría Row, and I am going to feel so happy about it. It's not even funny. No, that's just me. I mean, why give things names in English when they already have perfect names in Spanish? But you can do whatever you want. Of course, it's not up to me. Marie is watching from the treadmill, which makes me very envious, of course. And I saw a clickbait. Who wrote a clickbait during the intro? I saw it, and I'm going to find it because it was good. There it is. Karen Miller clickbaits us with "I am impressed" and a big smile. What could she possibly be referring to? That's a good clickbait. So hopefully we'll get to find out. New Jersey's in the house. Thanks to Ricky. Thank you very much for joining us. Raymond is making bread. Good for you. Let's see who else is here. Michael is back from Facebook jail. I've never been to Facebook jail. I don't understand if it's sexy or if it's unpleasant or what goes on, but it's good that you're back, Michael. Let's see who else is here. Boom, ba-ding, bum, boom, bum, boom. Thank you, Michal. It's actually my Harvard maroon. And I love maroon. I love maroon. Let's see. Oh, that sounds yummy. That sounds yummy. I may very well just walk over there after the broadcast and find myself one of those. Let's see. Let's see. Luna is over it already. Of course she is. She's had her morning pet session. She's had her breakfast. She is now silently paying attention. Lisa's been listening to the Carpenter since yesterday's show. You know, what a voice Karen Carpenter had. I mean, what a gorgeous voice. She used to walk into the studio, as I've read, and just nail these songs from beginning to end in one take, and that's all it took. And she will be always here, definitely. Let's see. That is not a question, that is a statement, and it has to do with politics. So I'm not going to acknowledge it, Dana. Sorry about that. Let's see. What else? Bum, ba-ding, bum, 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 bum. Michael says it wasn't the jail experience I have always imagined. We'll have to elaborate on that over cocktails once you move to Puerto Vallarta. Um, let's see. Okay. I think we're ready. Uh, what? Lisa says, my friends went to the pozole place yesterday that I recommended and said it was permanently closed. I think they might have been at the wrong place. So I wonder about that, Lisa, because these places have been thriving for years and they have been extremely successful. Anyhow, here we are. It's a good time to get started with today. And today we have all kinds of great news from our governor meeting with our president. We have crazy news because we still don't understand who's in charge of the police force here in Puerto Vallarta because the news are very funny. We also have a totally superficial and non-consequential takeaway from yesterday's proceedings north of the border. And that's about as funny as it gets, I think. Let's get started with the news. Yes. Okay, here we go. So yesterday, our governor, Enrique Alfaro, posted a lovely video right outside of El Palacio Nacional in Mexico City, where he met with our president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, to discuss the strategy. I was going to say the tragedy. No tragedy. The strategy of a vaccine deployment in our state. And our governor said, and I'm quoting, the president was very kind. The truth is, I've always said that when you have the opportunity to have a conversation directly with him, you can advance a lot. Enrique Alfaro said that the meeting with the president was very positive, that needless to say, Jalisco has its vaccines guaranteed. He continues to say, we opened a communications channel to go over some things that were pending, to adjust some things, to clear out the air about some doubts, and to be able to guarantee that the vaccine comes, first of all, to all medical personnel that is on the front line of the battle in our state, and subsequently to all the rest of the medical personnel, and then to the general public. So it is good to see that our governor had a positive meeting with our president, given the fact that because they're in different parties, there is always a certain amount of discussion back and forth and disagreement between them from a political point of view. But ultimately, this seems to have been an effective meeting. He also posted, our governor did, that we had received 24,375 vaccines on January the 12th. And it was less than what had been announced. And yesterday, apparently, the state only received 9,750 of the 26,325 that were expected. I've been reading elsewhere that there seems to be a shortage of vaccines, and Pfizer has been dealing with that. And this seems to be like a global problem. But I can only hope that our governor is going to be able to get what our medical personnel so desperately needs. There continues to be some confusion about who is in charge of the police force in Puerto Vallarta. We reported yesterday and the day before. Well, the day before yesterday, we reported the Marines are going to take over the police force here in Puerto Vallarta. Yesterday, we reported that it was the governor who was going to take care of the police force here in Vallarta. And now, apparently, everybody is changing their mind. Governor Alfaro has said, no, I am not taking care of the police here in Puerto Vallarta. And apparently, what was published in the official paper of the state, which is where all new laws are published, was a mistake. So yesterday, the Periódico Oficial del Estado published what do you call it? An amendment where they say in very complicated Spanish that, oops, We made a mistake. No, we did not mean to say that the governor is in charge of the police. The police in Puerto Vallarta continues to be a commitment held together by federal government, the secretary of the Marine, the governor, and the municipality. So it's weird. It's weird. But what seems to be clear is that if what the governor is saying that we pushed the button and published the wrong draft by mistake, clearly the state government had already been under discussions to take away control of the police force locally and give it to the state because our mayor and the guy that he had in charge were doing such a stupendous job. So this is all murky and unclear. Thank you very much. Disclaimer, retraction. I was looking for those words. Thank you so very much, Matthew, and thank you so very much, Joe. Sometimes this early in the morning when I haven't had enough of this, the words don't come to my mind. Anyhow, what is this going to change in our security? Probably nothing that we can perceive, but hopefully a lot. And we will continue to examine this development in the next few days. I am also happy to report that the National Defense Secretary gave a big report just a day ago on the strategy that they're going to use to deploy vaccines to 480 hospitals in the 32 distribution centers in the country through 127 routes where both land vehicles and 41 airplanes are going to be employed. So by sharing this massive plan of distribution, we get the impression and hopefully the reality that the Secretary of Defense has a good handle on the process of distributing the vaccines from one place to another. Let me see. Oh, this one is really funny, or at least it's kind of funny. I think it's funny. You tell me if it's funny. Our president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, as you know, he has a press conference every morning, and 2 days ago, apparently he started throwing shade at one of the directors of Twitter Mexico, saying that he was chummy with a different political party than the president. And he went as far, let me show you this quick photograph. He went as far as displaying the resume of this individual, one of the top one of the top employees of Twitter Mexico, saying that, he was probably not being transparent because he worked in a political campaign for some senator for somebody from some other political party. Well, Twitter did not react very kindly to this, and Twitter went ahead and slapped our president on the wrist and said, after our president said that the guy that is in charge of Twitter now was a consultant for a famous PAN senator, and he went ahead and said something like, okay, Twitter, don't be creating any political bots. And of course, Twitter quickly responded and said, it is unfortunate that the president of Mexico would suggest that this is how we handle our politics. It is unfortunate that this happened. And Twitter went ahead and said that Twitter spokespeople do not take decisions on their own and do not participate in the process of revision of those. This happens thanks to a very detailed process based on rules and processes, not in particular interests. So, yes, our president is also somewhat peculiar at times in the way he communicates his intentions and whatnot. He's not perfect. He can be a little kooky, but he is the president of Mexico. Raymond says, PAN is the bread party. Well, some people might agree with you. And as long as I'm here, let me take a look at any other comments that you may have before we continue. Pfizer stopped delivery to Canada for a few weeks at the same time asked, yes, I can see that, Brad. I've seen that there's been some delays. In Mexico, it's even been considered that the first vaccine is going to be Pfizer and the follow-up vaccine could be one of the other pharmaceutical companies' vaccine. Mushi asks, does a state governor have control over the Mexican Navy? The answer is no. Not that I know of, or not as I understand it. Jorge nailed it by saying it was one of those, it was not a disclaimer or retraction, it was one of those chingaderas. That's precisely what I was trying to say. Let's see what else we have. Just got an email from Vidanta that they're doing on-site COVID testing. Good for Vidanta. This is wonderful. Let's see. And I am caught up with your comments. Let me continue with a little bit of news from north of the border. It is comforting to see that one of the first things that President Joe Biden did yesterday is sign a series of decrees, including one in which he stops the building of the wall with Mexico. Good for him, good for us, good for whatever comes next. Today is, believe it or not, International Mariachi Day. Today is International Mariachi Day, this wonderful celebration of music that was born in our state and that is one of the UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage chingaderas. And today there is going to be a special mariachi performance at 1 o'clock thanks to the Mariachi Femenil Innovación Mexicana, an all-women's mariachi. And we are going to be able to enjoy it again at 1 o'clock local time on their own, on this page, Visita Guadalajara, this page on Facebook. I will be so very happy to share the link so that we can catch an all-women's mariachi band. And let me head over to the weather. Boom. We're just zooming through these news. I love it. The weather says it's over. Thank the maker. I have no idea what the weather is talking about. But of course, it's talking about the fact that today is 26 degrees Celsius, feels like 27. It is 79 degrees Fahrenheit. And humidity is at 50%, lower than yesterday, which is a good thing. And the weather forecast for today is partly cloudy through the day, high temperature of 29, low temperature 19. Tomorrow, Friday, is going to be partly cloudy through the day, high temperature of 29, low temperature 19. And on Sunday, it'll be clear through the day with a high temperature of 28, low temperature of 18. Lovely, lovely winter weather here in Puerto Vallarta. And let us continue with a few other choice headlines that I have for you, including this one that comes to us from our lovely developers at in Emiliano Zapata, the people responsible for this place called Avida on Francisco y Madero Street. They are continuing to feel the pressure of the neighborhood saying, hey, you guys, you fucked up our sidewalk. Are you going to do something about it? And apparently the people behind the development have made a promise to replant all the trees that they destroyed and replace the sidewalk that they removed. And hopefully the neighborhood will continue to follow this with close scrutiny, because no, we don't like it when big developers come in and they mess with our sidewalks. It is not sporty. It's not a nice thing to do. Let's see what else we have. In other news, Christopher Landau, who has been the ambassador of the United States in Mexico, said farewell. He left his post, which he was working under former President Donald Trump, and he left very grateful, very appreciative of having had the opportunity to represent the United States in Mexico. we remember that he actually posted a lot of Facebook social media things of himself enjoying the culture of Mexico, shopping por piñatas in marketplaces and so forth and so on. Um, he said, representing my country in Mexico has been a great honor and pride in my life. And I'm very grateful for having had that great opportunity to improve relationships between our two peoples. Will always be one of the passions on my life. Farewell, he said. And of course, we don't have a new ambassador assigned just yet. Hopefully, we will get to learn more about this sometime in the near future. Let's see. Let's see. Comments. Let us take quick look at the comments before we get into the last batch of leisurely headlines. Let's see what we have. Ba-ba-dee-ba-ba. Of course, Hotel Mercurio is also doing testing on site. Thank you very much for the reminder, Paul. I know that Hotel Mercurio has detailed information about this on their website, and I'll be very happy to share that that URL with you in today's comments. Matthew, yes, absolutely. When in doubt, just use chingaderas. It's one of the most perfect Spanish words. I love using chingaderas. I love eating chingaderas. I love chingadering whenever I can. We love it. We love it. Let's see what else is going on. Some political things that we're going to ignore. As you know, we are here to talk about Puerto Vallarta and the wonders of Mexico. And I second this notion, James. I really hope, you see, that's the thing. If the neighborhood, if we find creative, positive, constructive ways to exert pressure on things that are not going right, you know, I think that is a good way to do it. I think that is a good way to do it. And thank you for that reminder. Landau was only here for one half of Trump's term. We spent the first 2 years without any ambassador. I was actually not aware of that, Matthew. So hopefully we'll be able to get an ambassador, because it is important to have good relationships with a country north of the border. Deborah asks, Paco, how do I help support your program? I set to follow, but it asks for Twitter account, which I don't have. Can we e-transfer your support money? Oh dear. Right now, the only way we can receive your contributions is either locally in cash or through PayPal. I'm sorry, there are no other choices. I wish there were other choices, but unfortunately, that is what it is. Hopefully, at some point, we will find other creative ways to create paths for you to be able to support our project. I thank you so very much for your intention, however. Claude, if I was ambassador, how could I possibly have time to do coffee and headlines? I'd rather do coffee and headlines if you don't mind. Let's... A margarita and a COVID test at Mercurio sound truly wonderful. Well, that sounds like a good combo if you ask me. Let's see. I have more. Okay, so now we're getting into the totally mindless bits of news, because we are getting close to the end of our show. The first bit of news that I want to share now has absolutely nothing to do with Puerto Vallarta, but I think it's absolutely important. It's not the Mandalorian that has been seducing me to hire or to contract Disney Plus on my television. It is the fact that Disney Plus is going to start broadcasting The Muppet Show in February. I mean, the original Muppet Show, you have to be of a certain age to really appreciate how fantastically zany and wonderful this show was. So this will be the show that is going to make me spend a little bit of money on Disney Plus in the near future. If you love the Muppet Show, if you love those puppets as much as I do, you will also want to do the same thing. The next, let's see, are we there? Yes, we are there. Okay, so my personal, totally superficial, mindless, unconsequential takeaways from yesterday. have to do with none other than Bernie Sanders. I mean, God bless Bernie Sanders. He was just sort of sitting there, and all of a sudden, the whole internet exploded. And I don't need to tell you how, because you've already probably seen scenes of Bernie Sanders being cut and pasted thanks to the beauty of Photoshop into all kinds of places, including a bench sitting next to Forrest Gump, and so forth and so on. But of course, you know, the Mexican Photoshoppers had to go at it. So my favorite Bernie Sanders were two of them, and I'm going to share them with you right now. The first one is Bernie Sanders sitting at one of our president's press conferences. I thought that was absolutely priceless. And last but not least, and I wish I had a drum roll sound effect, you have to love Bernie Sanders sitting at Mexico's Social Security hospitals, waiting for his turn to be attended by a doctor. I just laughed when I saw this. I hope you think it's funny. I think it's funny. If you don't think it's funny, then I won't do it again. And last but not least, we have in the past mentioned Randy Rainbow in our show because he has done some very, very funny things. And he continues to do very, very funny things. But Randy Rainbow relies on technology and gadgetry and so forth and so on, and that's okay. But, you know, when you have a good song and you have good lyrics and you have a good voice and you have a kick-ass piano player, all you have to do is be Bette Midler and sing Goodbye, Donnie. I'm going to leave you with a link so that you can enjoy it on your own time. I thought it was funny. I hope you think it's funny as well. So, this brings us to our last comments of the day. Let me very quickly see what you are thinking about. La 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 la. This is true. Venmo is not working in Mexico, unfortunately. I understand that there are a lot of people that use it. Let's see. Yay! More Muppet Show fans. Love it. Love it. Yes. Let's see. Miss Piggy, played by Yoda, is absolutely priceless. Or was it Yoda played by Miss Piggy? I don't remember. Let's see what else we have. Any recommendations for Netflix movies? Oh my God, I'm finally watching the one with the butts. Not it's a movie. It's not a movie. It's a series. It's the period series. Bromtown, Broomfield. Well, you know what I'm talking about. It is absolutely funny and sexy and crazy. It is very good. It is very good. Yes, God bless Bernie Sanders. Let's see. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles, and Bernie's in mittens. You know, some person came out and said, oh my God, those are the mittens that we gave him. And here is a way in which you can crochet them yourselves. So you can also crochet your own Bernie Sanders mittens in case it ever gets that cold here in Puerto Vallarta. Jorge is stealing the IMSS, the Seguro Social one. Go right ahead. It is absolutely funny. And let's see what else we have. What will Randy do now that he's out of office? Well, who knows? What will we all do? You know, we'll have to focus on other things. The Las Chingaderas de Bernie are funny, absolutely. Let's see what else is going on. Claude's already seen the Bette Midler. Thank you very much for that. Lisa's back to boogieing with the Carpenters, and thank you very much for that. I don't remember the name. All I remember is all those butts. My goodness. My goodness. And that's it. We're there. We're there. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today was Thursday, January 21st. Tomorrow the weekend begins. I will have to shave because I'm looking a little scruffy. I have been home working for the last few days. Anyhow, it's great to see you always, it's great to receive your comments, your feedback, your suggestions, and your questions. They are very important to Luna and myself. Right, Luna? Luna says yes. So between now and the next time we get together, please stay kind, stay happy, stay healthy, stay common sense abundant, and last but not least, please stay in touch. Have a great day.